Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back here, guys, to the channel, and welcome here to a news roundup today. And what I thought I would do is basically talk about the fallout, of course, from that game, but not in terms of Valverde today. What we're going to be doing is looking at players coming in, potentially this summer, and also, of course, players going out. Because I can assure you now, there will be changes. There has to be. There's no doubt about that. We've got to have a ruthlessness about us. The board have got to take on these decisions head on and really make some big calls this summer. Now, of course, on the back of this loss, on the back of, more embarrassment, now we have to act. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about some of those who could be coming in, some of those who could be going out, and of course what that could mean for the club that we love, Barcelona. I hope you guys are feeling better yet again today. I know that talking about the future, talking about things that can improve us, might help us move forward. That is what we're going to do today, so let's get on with it. I want to start first of all with some very quick news on Luis Suarez, who quite out of the blue yesterday, Barcelona announced that Suarez has actually undergone surgery on his right knee on a meniscus injury, and it was arthroscopic surgery that he actually underwent very late last night for Dr. Kugan. He was actually there once again with a very full schedule. Apparently Suarez had to wait until the early hours of the morning to actually be operated on, but apparently Suarez picked up the problem in his knee during the first leg against Liverpool. He was actually seen in the dressing room after that game alongside Messi in their picture after that game with some ice around his knee. Following that game then, he was sort of playing through the pain. He tried to do everything he could, of course, to play in that second leg, and of course you don't really have a backup due to the board signing Boateng in January, so obviously Suarez played that second leg, and obviously we all saw what happened out there. It got worse, and now Suarez has decided to go ahead and get some surgery on that knee. He basically had that surgery last night, like I say, and the club have now confirmed this morning that all went okay, and he'll miss now between 4 to 6 weeks of action of football, of course, meaning that he'll miss the Copa del Rey final against Valencia. No chance at all of playing in that, and Suarez will be missing in that game. But of course, I'm mentioning this because, as we know, in the past few days, once again we have been linked with a brand new striker, one that we have been linked with before, and one that actually said no to Barcelona. I'm telling you now, Antoine Griezmann is back on the agenda. According to Sport, there's 3 big names that are being mentioned right now. A lot of decisions, you can see that from their cover this morning. We are going to be talking in depth about all of these things, but they basically say Frenkie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt, Antoine Griezmann. 3 key names to rejuvenate Barcelona next season, to really, really bolster the defence, the midfield, and the attack. That's really, really important going forward, to really balance it out and make sure that every single position there is firing on all cylinders. If we start with Griezmann, first of all, there's a number of reports on this, a lot of different sources coming out and talking about it. Start with Mundo Deportivo. They said basically Antoine Griezmann has given the green light to Barcelona, and these discussions are very, very different to what they were last year. Now, according to MD, like I say, things are different this time around, because last summer we believe we had an agreement with Griezmann. We thought that he was going to sign. Of course, then the decision came out and it all went wrong. It all went badly, and Griezmann remained at Atletico Madrid. But apparently right now, and it has been known for quite a few months, that he's unsettled there. He does believe that he wants to move on. He doesn't really believe that it was what he signed up for when he wanted to stay. He hasn't been challenging this season for the very top honours, and simply because he's turning 28 now, he's entering the prime of his career. It's genuinely here his very last chance to join Barcelona, and something like this is his very, very last chance. He very much regrets his decision last summer. I'm sure that if he was to sign, we would hear a lot about that. I'm sure that he would make a very big apology. ESPN come out and say once again Griezmann is back on the agenda. They follow up what MD has been saying. 120 million euros is the price tag that is being bandied around as Griezmann's reported release clause in that Atletico contract. And Sport also say it's happening. They say surely now Griezmann will be joining Barcelona this summer. But obviously, guys, I'm not going to get too hung up on this. I'm not going to believe anything at all. We heard it all last summer. We heard every single story imaginable last summer. Griezmann turned us down. I'm waiting. I'm not getting excited. I'm not even really going to pass comment on it because I'm still kind of uneasy. I think we're kind of desperate right now. We need a centre forward. We need to plug that gap. Suarez clearly is getting on. We need to bring somebody else in to have an immediate impact. Griezmann, 28. We know his pedigree. We know that he's quality, but obviously he did turn us down. That doesn't sit easily with me, but at the same time, we do need reinforcements, and we need them now. Le Parisien in France, of course, a big source there. They say Griezmann will sign for Barca. A lot of reports, a lot of stories, all of them right now believing that Griezmann is back on the agenda, and more than that, it's different this time round. Now then, to Matthijs de Ligt, the latest on him, and I have to say it's still on track, despite very contrasting reports in the last few days or so. A lot of people are sort of talking about his agent Mino Raiola, who Barcelona traditionally don't have a good relationship, but some reports a few days ago actually actually went as far to say that that wasn't really an issue. They are going to sort that, the agent fee, the percentage, all of that kind of stuff, it will be sorted, because Ajax reportedly have told Juventus, who is our biggest competitor for trying to sign De Ligt, they've told Juventus De Ligt is on his way to Barca. It's done, it's sealed, it's signed, and I still do believe that De Ligt is very much on course to join Barcelona, that he is going to be here, and I have no doubt about that. And of course, Frankie de Jong is all done, all signed, and all sealed. But I want to talk about the flip side of that. I want to talk about departures, because of course, as sports say, to fund these three signings alone, you think about Frankie de Jong, 75 million euros, Matthijs de Ligt anywhere between 80 to maybe even 90 million, and Antoine Griezmann reportedly 120 million euros. That there alone equals 275 million, and of course, that's not going to be it. We also need another left back, probably, no doubt about that. Possibly they're even more strengthening, and there would have to be some very serious departures to bring in those kind of players and to be able to have the funds to do that alone. The three players that are clearly mentioned by Sport as possible departures right now are Philippe Coutinho. He is the first name on that sheet of departures. He's the clearest case, according to Sport, simply because since he's come in from Liverpool, especially this season, he has been performing well below the expectations expected of him once he'd signed, of course, for a club record fee. We paid massive money to get Coutinho in. He hasn't delivered. I do believe still that he's being played out of position by Ernesto Valverde. I still believe that his future, if he was going to have one at Barcelona, would be in midfield as a more advanced player in that kind of role. But at the same time, as of right now, he's not cutting it at Barcelona. He's feeling very low. He's feeling a lack of confidence. The criticism apparently from the fans is really affecting him. And Coutinho, number one on that list, if we can find a buyer, if we can raise some significant funds, Coutinho could be out this summer. And then there's Ivan Rakitic, and I have to say there has been a massive storm surrounding Ivan Rakitic, and not because of course he's leaving, but because of what happened in the aftermath of that Liverpool game. The very day after, Ivan Rakitic was spotted, was photographed smiling at a fair in Sevilla, where he seemed to be having a pretty good time away from the football field. Now, I'm not going to get on top of these guys, but it just sort of illustrates what I was saying there in the match review. For these players, for a lot of them, life will go on. They'll go back to their families, they'll go out with their friends, they will forget about it, and a lot of them, to be honest, will be over this much before we as fans are. So like I say, the players out there clearly showed on the night, they didn't give it their all. Rakitic there out in the city of Seville, and I do accept players get over it in different ways. I'm not really going to begrudge him being with his family or being out and having fun, no doubt about that, but obviously when that pitch is released, when it's put online, you are going to get criticism, no doubt about that. And even Sports say that the Barcelona board were very unhappy that that picture came out of Ivan Rakitic there, and it's slightly more complicated than that, simply because Sport go on to say that Inter are ready to offer between 50 to 60 million euros to sign Rakitic this summer. That's a big fee there for somebody who's just turned 31 years old, somebody now who is not really at the end of their career, but he's into his 30s now. That's big money there that would be spent from Inter, and I do believe that Barcelona right now feel like this is the last chance, much like Griezmann in coming to Barca. This would be the last chance this summer to really get some significant money for Ivan Rakitic if we were to sell him. And MD actually follow up that story with a very interesting topic here. They say that Inter and Barca are very close, as Sports say, to reaching an agreement for the signing of Rakitic. But they also go on to say there, the fact that Barcelona are negotiating with Inter, the fact that they're open right now to Rakitic leaving the club, that may suggest that Ernesto Valverde may be on his way out, given that he is a massive fan of Rakitic. He's been basically untouchable under Ernesto Valverde, and he of course is the man who blocked Rakitic's move to PSG last summer. Could it mean that Valverde was on his way out? Could it mean there are new ideas coming in? We're going to have to wait and see, but Rakitic, just like Coutinho, he is one of those who could raise big money, and certainly we may look to capitalise on that this summer. The third man mentioned in the article is none other than Samuel Umtiti, and I think, to be honest guys, we all saw this one coming, and it follows the same sort of trend really. The board are very happy to sort of cash in and really gather some funds with a big name there like Samuel Umtiti. I'm absolutely sure that top clubs would be interested in him, but obviously there is slight doubts there, simply because of that knee injury, simply because you don't really know the condition right now that Samuel Umtiti is in. But having said that, Sports say basically that Umtiti cannot exist at Barcelona. He cannot stay at Barcelona if Matthijs de Ligt is signed this summer. It won't work. If de Ligt is signed, Umtiti would most likely be sold, and that makes it very interesting indeed. Heading into the summer, we are going to hear a lot more on that. One final bit of news to bring you also on the departures is somebody who's not currently at the club, who is of course contracted to the club though and is out on loan this season, Andre Gomez. According to Sport, once again, they've been very heavy on the news, as have Munir Matiba, both of them of course really getting in on this story and everything right now surrounding Barcelona. And of course not everything they say will be true. true, but right now they say that Andre Gomes could be on his way to Tottenham this summer. Tottenham are ready to offer 30 million euros for Andre Gomes, and Barcelona right now are thinking about that offer, and also Gomes has agreed terms early on with the Tottenham hierarchy. What I would say about that is, though, we've all heard about the Premier League, we've all heard about how they're dominating Europe again, we all know about the Premier League's prize money, the huge TV deals that every single club in that league gets. Well, let's see some of that money. 30 million euros for Andre Gomes is not going to be enough. I would certainly be asking for more than that. We need every single euro that we can get this summer if we're going to spend the kind of money that has been rumoured. We need those funds. Get that bid up. Tottenham, it's not enough. And as for the rest of them, we are going to have to wait and see where their Barcelona future lies, because right now it is uncertain, not just for those three, but I would say a lot of the players right now at Barcelona will be thinking, am I next out the door? And that in itself should certainly mean a very interesting summer here. We have to see progression. We have to see changes. No doubt about that. The time has come now to act. So as always, guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the current affairs in terms of transfers. Who do you want to see brought in? Who do you feel would be a really, really good player and a really good addition for Barcelona? And likewise, who do you want to see out of the exit door? Who do you want to see leaving Barcelona? The names that I mentioned today are the ones, of course, who are going around at the moment. But like I say, there will be more. There will be more rumours. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you soon, of course, with more videos. Keep those spirits high. I appreciate you coming back, guys. All the best to you. But until next time, as always, Vasca el Barça.